Good morning, everyone. My name is Eunice from Tutorial 1 Group 2. Today, our group will be presenting Topic 2, the manager as decision maker. As we have learned, decision making is a process that involves consideration and analysis rather than just an act of choosing among alternatives. It requires a truer understanding of a problem, the criteria of making a decision, and the potential consequences for each option. We have structured our presentation to include discussion questions, 2 case applications, and a quiz to engage everyone in the topic. Without further ado, allow me to delve into our first discussion question, which is, why is decision-making often described as the essence of a manager's job? Decision-making is often described so is because it is central to a manager's role and utilized in 4 managerial functions, which are planning, organizing, leading, and communicating. It fundamentally shapes an organization's directions and influences the long-term success of the organization. For example, in terms of resources allocation, managers decide how to allocate limited sources such as time, money, and personnel. From the aspect of problem solving, managers they regularly face challenges that require timely and effective decisions to overcome obstacles and capitalize on opportunities. Moving on to the next question. Provide an 8-step illustration of any decision-making process undertaken by you. I have included a flowchart of the 8 decision-making process for your better understanding, and here's an example of purchasing a new laptop. So the first step would be identification of a problem. I recognize that my current laptop is slow, outdated, and not meeting my performance needs. So that would be my problem. And this creates a need for a new laptop. And the second step would be identification of decision criteria. I establish criteria that are important for my decision, such as performance, portability, battery life, price, and brand reliability. Also, I assign weights to each criterion based on their importance, given a score from 1 to 10. I also developed alternatives as example, which are MacBook Air, MSI, Lenovo, and Acer. So the fifth step would be analysis of alternatives. I created 2 tables that included my choices and their criteria, given a score from 1 to 10 to each criterion for each laptop, as you can see here. And this one would be the weights that I have generated from the third step. So I multiplied each score with its weight, and I summed up to get the best decision. So the next step would be selection of an alternative. I've selected Lenovo as my last choice because it offers a good balance of performance, battery life, brand reliability that aligns well with my needs. And the 7th step would be implementation of the alternative. So I proceed to purchase the laptop from a retailer, and I ensure if there are any promotions or warranties that may apply in the laptop. And the last step would be evaluation of decision effectiveness. After using the laptop for a month, I evaluated its performance, battery life, and overall satisfaction. It met my initial expectations and validated my choice. Next question. As decision-making is personalized, do you think bias often plays an important role for a CEO or a first-line manager? Explain the potential daily bias that managers may encounter. The answer would be yes. Bias can significantly influence decision-making for both CEOs and first-line managers, often affecting their judgment and actions in daily operations. Most of the potential daily bias that managers may encounter are overconfidence bias, where managers tend to think they know more than they do or hold unrealistically positive views of themselves and their performances. The second would be immediate gratification bias, where managers who want immediate rewards and to avoid immediate costs. The third one would be availability bias, where managers tend to remember events that are the most recent and vivid in their memory. So that's all from me. Next, I would like to pass my presentation to Li Shen.
So thank you, Eunice, for part And now I will continue my part, which is discussion question number 4 and discussion question number 5, and also summary of case application 1. The question of discussion question number 4 is, what is intuitive decision making? In your opinion, when is this method best used? What are the major drawbacks of this managerial decision making step? So, what is intuitive decision making? Intuitive decision making refers to the process of making decision based on their past experience, feelings and emotions, skills, knowledge and training, ethical value or culture, and use data for a subconscious mind rather than relying solely on analytical reasoning and data. And next, in my opinion, I think this method best used where decisions need to be made quickly, such as in emergency or fast-paced environment, because intuition can help in quick alternative selection. Second, this method is also best used when data is scarce and lacks certainty in information to navigate ambiguous situations. For example, if the information or data is outdated, the manager can use this information to make a decision. So the manager could only make a decision based on their intuition. The major drawback of this managerial decision-making style are first, influenced by personal biases or emotion, leading to inconsistent and potentially flawed outcomes. Second, overlook important data or trends, increase risk that misalign with organizational goals. And the third, foster overconfidence, where managers trust their instinct too much, potentially leading to poor risk assessment. Now we'll continue to discussion question number 5, and the question is, Herbert A. Simon started work on boundary rationality and satisfied C because of his hypothesis that people had a limited ability to grasp the present and anticipate the future. Discuss the problem associated with making decisions using the rational model. So what is rational model? Rational model is an approach that assumes decision maker being fully objective and logical to selecting alternatives that maximize the goal. But the problem associated when using this approach are the first, human cognitive capacity is limited, making it difficult to process large amount of information, so using the rational model is not always practical in reality. Second, personal emotion like fear, anxiety, and overconfidence can affect decision making, often leading decision maker to overlook a logical evaluation of the cost and benefit or of other options. And the third, in complex and uncertain environment, predicting outcome is challenging, adding further difficulty to the rational model's application. Now I'll move to the summary of case application 1. The title of case application 1 is round number, and the topic is efficiency and sustainability. Our group have summarized 10 points of this case application, and the first is United Process Service UPS is the world's largest package delivery company, which transport more than 20 million packages and documents across 220 plus countries. Second, UPS emphasized on efficiency and uniformity. The third, UPS developed a long-use business model named on road integrated optimization and navigation, and also called Orion. Number 4, Orion used decision algorithm built by a team of mathematicians to help UPS drivers make better and more programmed decisions. Number 5, the system offers driver Orion-based and traditional route for driver to choose from, but if the driver don't choose Orion, they have to give a reason that why they don't choose it. Number 6, some drivers are reluctant to switch to Orion's implementation. Number 7, UBS has invested hundreds of millions to develop Orions over the course of 10 years. Number 8, the company remained committed to Orion despite challenges. Number 9, UBS believed that the driver's expertise together with Orion produced the best result, saying that the driver together with Orion is better than each alone. And number 10, which is the last one, Orion represents UBS continued focus on efficiency, safety, and technological innovation of its operation. Next, I will pass to my teammate Dong Yi to continue his part. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Li Shen. Now it's my turn to do a discussion question about case application 1. First, why is efficiency and safety so important to UPS? In our opinions, efficiency and safety is important to UPS because cost saving. Improved efficiency such as reducing driving distance will significantly cut fuel costs, reduce vehicle wear and tears, and operational costs. Accident leads to injuries, fatalities, and financial liability for the company, which also result in vehicle repair costs and medical expense. By emphasizing safety, UPS can reduce this risk and accident-related costs. Second, environmental impacts. Improving efficiency, UPS can reduce fuel consumption and carbon emission. This allows UPS to achieve company sustainability. Last but not least, protecting driver and employees. Prioritizing safety measures protect driver from accidents and injuries to create a safer and better working environment. The next question is, will you characterize a driver route decisions as structured or unstructured problem, program or non-program decisions? Expense. In our opinions, we characterize a driver route decision as structured problem. Structured problem is a problem that's straightforward, familiar, easily defined, and repetitive in nature. For example, UPS driver face the task of planning an efficient sequence of stops each day. And this shows that the problem is structured problem because the driver make the decision every day. Reference. Each UPS driver makes an average of 120 stops per day. The efficiency challenge is deciding the best order to make all those stops in considerations. We also characterize a driver route decision as program decisions. Program decisions is a repetitive decision that can be handled using a routine approach and follow the specific guidelines of rules. For example, UPS developed Orange system, which is a tool for UPS driver make the best decision of every route delivery. Reference. UPS using Orange algorithms to help the driver make the best possible decisions about routes delivery and considering how many miles UPS deliver travel every day. The third question is, how would Orange technology help driver make better decisions? Think of the step in the decision-making process. Step 1. Identify problem. The problem that UPS driver face is find out the most efficient route to deliver package to numerous locations daily. Step 2. Identify criteria. Orange identify key criteria such as distance, time, fuel efficiency, and safety. Step 3. Weight the criteria. Orange weight the criteria such as safety 30%, fuel efficiency 30%, delivery timelines 25%, distance 15%. Step 4. Develop alternative. Orange operators generate multiple routes by analyzing data on stop locations, route conditions, and delivery deadlines. These multiple choices allow the driver make the best decision about the routes. Step 5. Analyze alternative. Orange evaluates each alternative route against the criteria to find a best choice. Step 6. Select alternative. After analyzing alternative routes, Orange provides the driver with the most efficient and safety routes. The drivers are encouraged to follow these routes. Step 7. Implement alternative. Once a route is selected, drivers log into their delivery information acquisition device, which guide them throughout their deliveries. The last step, evaluates effectiveness. UPS review data on route performance to define the impact of Orange suggestions. These evaluations help UPS refine Orange algorithms to ensure that future routes become more efficient and effective. The last question is, how is UPS being a sustainable corporation? Sustainable corporation is a company operate in ways that protect and improve the environment. First, UPS using new energy vehicle that include hybrid and electric vehicle, which help in reducing greenhouse gas emissions and reliance on traditional fossil fuels. Second, UPS using Orange system to find out the most efficient and safety way by minimizing the distance, which significantly cutting usage of fuel and carbon emissions. Thus, UPS encourage customers to use sustainable packaging, which is recyclable and reusable materials. In this case, usage of plastic packaging will decrease and more environmental friendly. And the next is UPS planted 34.2 million trees with a focus on greening urban communities in 2024. Their final goal is 15 million trees planted by 2020. And the last is UPS encourage people to bring their authentic selves to work regardless of roles or geography. In 2024, 39% of UPS US full-time management is ethnically diverse.
Hi everyone, so I'm Louis. I'm going to take over from here. So basically, I'm going to walk you guys through the summary for case application 2. So if you don't know, case 2 is basically about Manchester City, the football club, about how they use big data to improve the performance of their club. So without further ado, let's get started, shall we? So Manchester City, the football club, they all will spend like 15 minutes with the analysis team. Like their players will spend 15 minutes with the analysis team before the start of each and every match to analyze factors like number of crosses, the effectiveness of their tackles, balls lost or recovered during the match, their relationship with the midfield, and all the maneuvers to protect their penalty. Not only that, during the match as well, the analysis team will produce a report on each player's movement during the match so that they can identify all the areas for improvement after the match. The performance analysis unit basically help the club to make better decisions by using informative data and help their players gain awareness of their action and tendencies in the field so that they can improve the performance of their club overall. The performance analysis actually studied over 500 corner kicks to improve their set piece goal. And their set piece goal improved from only 1 goal scored over 21 matches to 9 goals in 15 matches. And I think all of you can know that is a massive improvement. The data analysis team, they also help the football team set a specific training for their youth team by analyzing their performance, which will help the young players learn their role in the formation and what are their talent and what skill areas they should focus on for better development. And ever since then, Manchester City has gotten the best defensive records attributed to the support from the performance analysis team and also the use of big data. The structured data approach helped Manchester City won the title in 2021 to 2022 and 2013 and 2014 season after more than 40 years of no wins. That is over 4 decades. So Manchester City, they also received more than 400 applications about algorithms and simulations through a global hackathon they organized during 2016. So the winning team from the global hackathon, from over 400 applications, they have made promise to collaborate with the performance analysis team to make better machine algorithm that tracks decision making during games in the future. So to conclude all of this, phase 2. So to conclude this, big data, they can change the future of football decision making by making more advanced and simulations that can improve the team's performance and strategy that can be used by basically anyone. So that's the summary for KISS application 2, and I think we will move on to the discussion questions for KISS application 2. So let's start with question 2/15, 2-15. So what types of decisions are made by football managers? Would you characterize these decisions as structured or unstructured problems? Explain. So, football managers make decisions on tactics, play selection, team formation, and in-game strategies. These are usually structured problems due to the dynamic and unpredictable nature of football. Problems like team chemistry, strategic planning, unexpected injuries, opponent's reaction to your tactics, and so on. All of them are unstructured and unpredictable problems that requires making quick, real-time decision by the football managers. For the next question, I will hand it over to my teammates, my fellow teammates. So that is all from me.
So, as for the second question, describe how football managers can use big data to make better decisions referring to rationality, bounded rationality, intuition, and evidence-based management. So, as you can see here, I've segregated the 4 types of decision making in the table, and I'm going to compare them according to 2 aspects, which are definition and elaboration. So, rationality is also known as the rational model, where decision makers are being fully objective and logical when it comes to decision making. So some of the assumptions involved in rationality would be assuming perfect or full information are provided about the alternatives available, and any decision maker or like in this case, football managers have the time, cognitive ability, and resources to evaluate each choice against the others and to select the best solution among those alternatives. So in this case, big data enables the football manager to apply rational strategies based on the available analytical data, and it aims to maximize the success rate and to increase the chances of the football team winning the live match. So second of all, bounded rationality is when decision makers make decisions rationally, but are limited or bounded by their ability to analyze all information on all options. So when you think about bounded rationality, two keywords should come to your mind, which is satisfies and escalation of commitment. Satisfies means to accept solutions that are only good enough. Means the decision makers due to their limited ability to examine and go through all of the available alternatives, they often tend to just select alternatives or solutions that satisfy the needs of the situation and could help them solve their problems, but they kind of miss out a lot more better opportunities because they don't explore more options instead. So, okay, apart from that, escalation of commitment means an increased commitment to a previous decision despite evidence that it might be wrong, which means that a decision maker chooses to make a repeated decision or the same decision from before, regardless of having proof that that decision was not a great decision. So in this case, big data helps expand the amount of information processed by football managers, exploring more available alternatives that could be better and could solve their problems better, bringing more benefit to the football players. Thirdly, intuition decision making is when decision makers make decisions without relying on any reasoning or analysis, which means that they make decisions based on their own past experiences, feelings and emotions, skills, knowledge and training, data from subconscious, and their own ethical values or culture. So big data complements this by providing support for instinctual choices made. It helps create a balanced approach. So, for example, uh, uh, a decision maker made a decision. A decision maker made a decision based on their own instinct, their own gut feeling. But apparently, as they dwell more and more on the research or the analytical data collected, they realize that the decision made was actually leaning towards a great direction because the analytical data provided sort of backs up their whole instinctual choice made. So last but not least, evidence-based management, which is when managers use the scientific method to organize and apply current data to improve their decisions made. Big data guides football managers to making more logical decisions with actual facts and data backing up. So some of the actual facts and data could be player statistics, performance metrics, and predictive models. So for this question, some of the references I've included here, I've attached here would be these three pictures, the ones that I've highlighted. So for the first one, the analysis team guided by Gavin Flick, head of performance analysis at Manchester City Football Club, gives each player a detailed and personalized report of all of their moves during the match, giving each player accurate feedback on the improvements required. So from here, you can see that they actually analyze on the actual data that they have and they make reports or they research, they study, and they make reports out of it so that the players could acknowledge their strengths and weaknesses as well as uh, be open to be open to further improvement on the things that they are lacking. So from here, it provides a clearer idea for the players, for the football players. Apart from that, if you look at the other pictures, I've also included the 500 corner kicks that were studied by the analyst team to understand what led to the goal. The players were then presented with videos illustrating the best tactics and move applied by other team. This actually helped, this showed that it was very effective. The study that they made on the 500 corner kicks uh, to understand why didn't they manage to score the corner kicks, and also after that they provided videos on how to improve their tactics by showing them the techniques and tactics practiced by other teams who is actually better than them, so that the football players could improve from their own mistakes, could learn from their own mistakes, and also practice to improve their own techniques. So it actually showed very effective. It actually showed that this analysis was very effective. This whole study was very effective. It didn't go wasted because uh, Manchester City managed to score 9 goals in the first 50 matches of the next season from corners, and it shows that a very tremendous improvement in their performance. And also, not to mention, they were they actually had more than 4 decades of no wins. But after this analysis, they actually Manchester City, like since the performance analyst started helping the team, Manchester City has gotten the best defensive records for 2 consecutive years, and it won its own title. So it really shows that the concept of big data and the whole analysis made by the performance analyst team is actually effective, and it actually works. It actually helps the football players and also help them to score their goals in during live matches. Yeah. So moving on to the next question, what types of conditions are more likely to influence the performance analyst team's work? Certainty, uncertainty, or risk? Explain. So the way I see it, some of the conditions that are more likely to influence the performance analyst team's work would be uncertainty and risk. So uncertainty means when the decision maker is not certain about the outcomes and can't even make reasonable probability estimates. And it's always due to the limited amount of available information, and often also often influenced by the psychological orientation of the performance analyst. Some of the psychological orientation could be like the performance analyst team's moral orientation, their emotions, or even their mental state, and etc. etc. So, for example, the performance analyst team could not predict the player's performance, injury occurrences, and the strategies of the opposing team during live matches. I would consider these as really unpredictable and unexpected occurrences during live matches, and it's not something that you could predict or you could prepare for. So yeah. And apart from that, another type of condition that is more likely to influence the performance analyst team's work would also be risk. Risk is when the decision maker is able to estimate the likelihood or like the probabilities of outcomes based on the data that they have from their own past experiences or even secondary information such as statistics, reports, academic research, and online data. Yeah, this is this is the situation. This explains the situation of risk. So normally risk exists when they lack analytical information on the current situation and they do not have a clearer picture of the possible alternatives that could be taken into consideration or could be implemented. So, for instance, if the strategy that the football players have selected backfires and the opponent team keeps scoring over and over in a row, the team's morale could be damaged and it might lower the players' confidence for the remainder of the game. So, in this case, it's actually really likely and most probably in most cases, the football players could actually perform could actually like their performance could worsen because for the remainder of the game because they their confidence have been damaged, have been affected, and they might not feel as confident as they were in the beginning with themselves. And watching the difference between the goals or the scores between them and the opposing team and how much goals that they have to score to actually win over, it will actually pressure them and reduce their own confidence. So at most times, their performance could worsen as the game keeps on going. Okay, so for the reference that I've used here is data analysis is a critical decision-making support tool for Manchester City's managers at all levels, including youth teams. So I take this as my reference for this question is because it mentioned here that data analysis is a very crucial support tool when it comes to decision making for Manchester City's managers at any level. And this actually contributes to my point of why uncertainty and risk are more likely to influence the performance analyst team's work. Because if you notice, if you look closely, two of these conditions are normally stem from lack of analytical data or inaccurate analytical data or limited amount of information provided. So it proves my point that this reference proves my point that data analytical data is very important when it comes to analyzing and decision making. So next question, do you think it is appropriate for football managers to use only quantitative information to evaluate their players' performance during the season? Why or why not? So in my opinion, no, I don't think it is appropriate for football players to use only quantitative information to evaluate their players' performance during a season. This is because when it comes to football matches or any competitions, it actually involves a lot of other factors that are not quantitative, such as the players' technical skills, their mentality, team chemistry, etc., etc. And these factors are often, if you ask me, often unpredictable and unexpected. Like, and most of them are also unmeasurable, like team chemistry. So, for example, players may encounter personal issues like, or even emergencies like a panic attack or an anxiety attack halfway through the competition that could impact their own emotions and mental state, and it affects their judgment and performance during those matches. So, in this case, I think the football manager should adopt a more balanced approach that includes qualitative insights as well as quantitative insights. So they should actually practice an approach that is more that includes both that goes both ways, which is both qualitative and quantitative insights. This could help them get a better understanding to each player's contributions and also select a more suitable strategy that could match with the player's strengths and weaknesses, which actually helps to increase their chances of winning the game and basically maximize their success rate. Last but not least, how can big data transform football decisions in the future? So, big data can transform football decisions in the future by providing predictive analysis, advanced scouting, and also offering personalized training. So, when when the big data offers predictive analysis by forecasting accurately future trends in football game strategy and the player's performance, it actually helps to make more effective decisions in terms of like I'll say, okay, so you could refer to the reference that I have attached here, which is two sentences, could help identify new moves, passes, running, and pressure to be more effective. And the winning team will receive a cash prize of 7,000 euros and the promise to collaborate with the performance analysis team created a learning machine algorithm that tracks decision making during games. So as you can see here, they've actually already started using big data in terms of decision making from the last sentence where you can see that it says they created a learning machine algorithm that tracks decision making during games. So apart from that, uh, predictive analysis is also offered uh, through this creation of algorithms to help identify new moves, passes, running, and pressures that could be more effective and could increase the chances of the football teams winning their own games. So, furthermore, big data can also transform football decisions in the future in terms of advanced scouting is because of the vast analytical data collected. So, from this analytical data collected of candidates who are applying to be recruited, who are applying to the recruitment that they have, it's actually easier for them to identify and recruit talented players with qualities that actually align with the team. Because uh, when you have all of the information, values, and yeah, when you have all of the personal information, past experiences, and values of the candidates applying to this recruitment, it's actually easier for you to identify and select players that actually has values that are like similar to the football team, and it also helps to prevent future situations that are like per se perhaps saying one of the players that were newly recruited, they leave the football team due to unmatched goals or unmatched values. Yeah, it actually helps to prevent this type of situation, which could be very how to say, which could be count as an emergency because you do not have enough people in the team. So for references, big data is thus a means to achieve Manchester City's strategic goals in youth team development, which is to integrate young homegrown talents into the first team's formation. So as you can see here, advanced scouting is also they actually recruit youthful players or players that are suitable with them, that can work together with them, and they cultivate and train them into the first team's formation. So lastly, personalized training. Big data can transform football decisions in the future by providing data on the player's fatigue, injury risk, it allows in some way it allows the football manager to arrange more tailored programs to optimize the football team's performance. So from here I attach one of the references as place and what aspects that they need to focus on to develop their talent. Okay, so for this slide, there's a QR code and it's actually our quizzes which contains like 10 multiple choice questions. And actually feel free to just scan and try out the quizzes, have some fun so that you can enhance your knowledge on managerial decision making. That's all from our presentation. Thank you so much and have a nice day. Thank you for your time.